Alright folks, welcome back. I'm back from my four day away. So we are playing catch up now. Not today. We're gonna try to lean in on it. We have a little additional thing to do today. So we are going to do day 10's prompt, which is nomadic. And we're gonna try to keep it a little bit brisk in terms of composition. So nothing too incredibly fancy. We have an additional thing to do today, which will be fun because it's kind of related with the whole Chinese, Japanese theme stuff and the language learning. So in terms of nomadic, well, there's one thing that definitely unifies Chinese and Japanese sort of like pop culture, entertainment culture, without saying too much. So we're gonna attempt to do that. I think we're gonna focus on doing a silhouette thing, which does cut down on a lot of details, which makes this prompt a little bit more bearable. I'm gonna try to cut it down to like 2 hours, so a bit loosey-goosey but effective, possibly. We're going for more effective, if I can even do that. So let's see. Nomadic is the prompt today. Alright, I'm trying to figure out the shape first. I made too thick. We'll work on that. Whoa. That's way bigger. Okay. That's a pretty okay. This is gonna be kind of important. I've kind of done something like this already before, so. We're way out. Way out of proportion. That's okay though. I'll continue to like do it in sort of proportion, and then we'll shape the thing. I like modeling. I think the most important part of this comp is that I need to gather some folds. Otherwise, it's gonna be very, very difficult to do the silhouette properly. No, let's mold this now. So, okay. Okay. It's kind of close. Alright. Let's continue with this. Okay. So the question is, does the feet line up with? That's kind of okay. Yeah, we need to do this again. This part. So let's try again. Actually. Okay. That's a little... That's a... Okay. It's okay. Alright. Do this again. Okay. So, what features? Focus. I definitely have to figure out this part. I kind of want this. Right? And I kind of want this part. I might want this part. Maybe something like that. Hmm. 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 So I kind of want this. Hmm. 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 It's okay. I went with this and the inside first. Maybe something like this. Ugh. This seems okay. Hmm. Uh. Hmm. Uh. It's probably a little sharp. Am I balding? No. I got a haircut. That's a weird comment. We got some massive leap of logic on that one. Can you see it? That's your way of saying hi after a long time of being offline? I see. No, I shave my head. I shave my head when I get a haircut. And then I wear a cap. It's my cap face. But no, you'll see it in like another 4 months. Something like that. When it grows out. And you should... It saves you both time and money? That's interesting that it saves you money. It's cheaper to get that in Morocco? What? Talk about 10 DH versus 40 DH? Are you talking about... Oh, you're talking about the cost of the haircut. I I don't know if that's what you mean. I'm doing pretty well. How are you? I'm back from my wedding. I was attending a wedding the last couple of days. Or actually the last day, technically. Travel time. I see. What have you been up to? I think this is good enough. We don't need to do much. This is supposed to be a silhouette. Oh there, Walter. You just streamed today for 9 hours? That's great. What did you do? It's pretty good enough. We gotta do our second subject. Also. So. Say about this long. You're studying Chinese mainly, I see. It's good. How's the studying going? What did you learn today? Good enough for our silhouette later. All right, we need to do our second subject actually. Yeah, we need to do our second subject. Okay, let's move on to the next subject. You think you need a break from drawing? Just wrist kinda hurts, so time to watch me draw. I see. Oh, I hope you get that wrist rest up. How's your drawing? Appreciate it, Penguin. Thanks a lot for the inspiration and advice from last time. Yeah. Oh, I hope you're doing well and keeping motivated, right? All right. We're gonna try to keep this simple today. So, because we have quite a few things to do. Let's do our second subject. It took 30 minutes. We're gonna try to keep it within 3 hours. Today is a little bit of a longer day. Got other things to do. Let's see. So our next subject have to be also. I guess I might as well draw using this guy's as my reference for size. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe something like that. That kind of looks edgy, no? More or less a makeshift crown. Okay. Gotta be a little bigger. His head's a little. That's a fairly tiny head. Oh yeah. And I gotta. And we're gonna use the guy, the other guy as a gauge to put them into proportion. Yeah. This guy's probably closer. Do I have my drawing tablet elevated in some sort of way or just flat on my desk? Just flat on my desk. Like I'm writing on a piece of paper. I only have, oh, and just to clarify, I have like a regular tablet. So there's nothing required for me to look at. I'm not like, I would probably have it elevated and probably tilted towards me if I had a display tablet, because then I'd be actually looking at the tablet. But I have a standard drawing tablet, so there's nothing to look at. So I'm basically writing on a piece of paper but I'm looking at my monitor instead. It takes a little bit of getting used to. I don't think it translates to the same thing as writing. Right, but Walter, I hope your wrist is okay. Is your wrist like at an angle when you're writing? I know you have been drawing quite a lot. That's a lot of drawing. That's a lot of line drawing, Walter. I know you showed me a bunch of examples in our Discord, in the Discord, and that's a lot of line drawing. I don't know if you've been getting opportunity to do something other than line drawing, right? Because line drawing can be very tense. So like just doing this stuff is there's a lot of tension in the beginning, especially if you're doing single line drawings like this right here. If you're doing things like this, like you're really concentrating on, and I don't know how loose you are with your hand. My hand is fairly loose when I'm doing this. So like strokes are very fast and light. They have to be fast and light, in my opinion, because if you're doing like a lot of line drawing, your hand is gonna cramp up. Like your wrist and stuff. It's gonna get really tense. And the best way I can only do that kind of tense type of drawing for like 4 hours tops. And it's not even drawing. If you're writing like, if you're learning Japanese or Chinese and you're writing like hiragana, right? Or, I mean, not hiragana, kanji or hanzi, it's gonna get really tense. So like you're doing this and you're like really, really like super hard squeezing the life out of your pen, right? Because you're trying to be really exact. That stuff is probably gonna tense up your wrist a lot, so be careful. Yeah. I don't know if you play OS, Walter. Sometimes I use OS players as an example. There's a lot of tension. There are different ways to grip your pen, and when you're aiming, you can get RSI, which is repeated stress injuries. So be careful. Though that type of thing can be a permanent, like a irreparable thing. So rest up, have fun. I think you can try coloring sometimes. Coloring is a lot of fun on digital stuff. You have your line out. That's why you got your tablet in the first place, was for OS. I see. Yeah, I figured. There was a high chance that was gonna be why I brought it up, actually. I say after a while though, these lines, when you start doing like lines over time, you'll get used to being like, you're only squeezing exactly hard enough, like you move, and you let it flow, but you only tense up near the ends. So whenever I'm doing like a stroke, right, it goes down hard, and then its own, as it's moving, it's less force, and then you fall down. So at some point your strokes are going to be in a very specific direction. And wait, moderation though. Moderation. Coloring helps in my opinion. So like when you're trying to color stuff, you can move your hand, whip your hand back and forth. Like when you're coloring, you can have fun whipping your hand back and forth, pressing a little bit harder, you know, lightening up, then harder to get your hand, like give your hand a little flexibility and whatnot. So every once in a while, feel free, definitely feel free to shade something, like shade some of your line work and whatnot. It gives your hand a little bit of flexibility. Your mobility is pretty tense in the beginning, generally speaking. Like your hand's mobility is very, very tense. So it's very small movements, and it's very slow, a lot slower because you're concentrating. And generally line work, for me anyways, become less and less like slow. Like these strokes are not, you're not trying to do this, right? Although some people do this really, really well because that's what they do. They like vector and edit and whatnot. Sketching is very loose. Yeah, you need to do some color theory and such, plus you're a bit colorblind, so some of the most impressive artworks are black and whites. Here's the thing about color. If you're learning like lessons and stuff, you're probably gonna go through volumes first. I think they're gonna teach volumes first, which is completely black and white. So like for example, you don't really like, color theory is fantastic and all, that's like picking colors and whatnot. However, most of the time I think as long as you get your volume, but the idea is if you get your volumes, the color, it can be colored in anything. So volumes are like, what part is this? So, you know, this part will have less, this part will have more, right? So then you have like your tail end. So the volume is this side's lighter, this side's heavier, right? So it's lighter out here, and it gets darker here, and it gets really dark here. So then you have your edge, right? So that's kind of what I'm imagining right now. So my volume is less out here, and it's gonna get more here, and it's gonna get even more here. Right? So you're gonna end up doing volume and then what happens is you imagine the color. So the color would be similar. You would take like a light color, you color it out here, right? And then you take a even darker, maybe a little shader color, it'll be in here, and then the rest is gonna be like super dark. Yeah, and hatching. Yeah, you can do hatching. Hatching works too. Hatching, I would probably be. Hatching does require, like, you're talking about like inking hatching, because of hatching is probably, I'm guessing the reason why you're doing hatching is it's really manga expired to do hatching and inking, right? Hatching and inking, that also involves being very loose. So like what I mean is you're gonna have to get very loose with your hands because it'll cramp up again. right? So like you do 3 different shades of hatching across the edge. This is the edge, right? And it'll probably place a lot additional strain on your hand because you're doing a lot of repeated movements, and they have to be like precisely next to each other. You think also is a lot different because the drawing tablet, it's a lot bigger than a regular pencil that I use. I mean, yeah, I think the tool themselves, I mean, they're literally different. So you don't have to say that, right? They're literally different. They're different weights, different shapes, and whatnot. However, fundamentally, the mechanics that you're referring to are the same. The tool itself is literally different for sure. So instead of constantly treating them the same, you're probably healthily do them different. Yeah, I mean that goes without saying. The thing is, cross hatching still requires the same mechanical movements. So, whatever you're doing with a pencil, if you cross hatch, it's still that movement. And then whatever you're doing with the pen, the pen tablet, you're still doing that same movement with the pen. So we're comparing the pen and the pencil. We're not comparing these two. You are constantly comparing these two. They're apples and oranges. These two, I agree, apples and oranges. So my comments, since I don't use a pencil, my comments are strictly talking about the pen tablet. So bringing up this point is irrelevant to what I'm saying. If you know what I mean. Yeah, and getting used to it, certainly. Oh, there, Toby. It is the movement that might tense up your wrists. Hopefully, don't push too hard. I like the enthusiasm though. Also, one thing you need to adjust is the pressure thingy on your tablet. Is it on your tablet or is it in Clip Studio? I think it's way too high and it's showing myself pressing down a lot harder than to get the different Are you using a fader like a on Clip Studio? Are you using something that has like a property like this, right? So yeah, I think pretty sure Clip Studio has a software adjustment for that too, for all your brushes, but you can adjust it from your tablet as well. Like your tablet drivers. I don't usually adjust it from my tablet drivers as opposed to adjusting the there should be a I don't use Clip Studio. However, there most freehand has what's called a brush curve. I think it's called brush curve. I'm making terminology up. But there's gonna be like a graph. There's gonna be like a graph that looks like this, and it'll tell you like what it looks like what the pressure point is to elicit the different things. I am too lazy for that. So what I ended up doing, like anecdotally, is I took all the brushes and I drew on a blank canvas, and I tried to do this thing. So what I just did here, where I take my hand, and I guess we'll use OS terms, right? When you're hovering, you got to know when your actual actuation distance is, right? Which usually when you're lifting, you should get nothing most of the time. However, then you have guiding, which you rest it on the tablet and you only guide it. So you're moving left and right, but you're not pressing down, right? This is guiding. This is how I think we talked about this before. This is how I aim in OS. So it's always one level. And then most people, when they say dragging, this is what they mean. So it's like max. So there's a force and it caps out at max. It actually caps out way before you push down. Like most of the brushes only go so deep. So you don't actually have to press any harder than its max. And the reason why I say, oh, you know what? If you adjust the tablet drivers, it could equalize all of that stuff too. But usually most of the brushes have like a cap, how hard they can go. And then, yeah, I think you might want to, now that I think about it, if you adjust the tablet drivers, you can adjust it to how hard you want to press it, the hardest you press. This is still not dragging. Like this is about halfway to dragging. This is like you can push really hard way past the max point, at least in Krita. I don't know about Clip Studio how hard they press, but usually it's as long as you can get the I would like get a blank canvas and then figure out how hard you have to press, and then you get used to this is like I'm pressing less than a piece of paper. So however hard you're pressing on your piece of paper, it's about half that. So I took a piece of paper and I took a pencil. It's slightly lighter than a pencil to write. And I think that'd be a great way to normalize. You can normalize to your pencil. So, you know, break out your sketchbook and then draw a line. Draw a line and ask yourself, how hard do you press for a pencil? And I think that should be the hardest, in my opinion. Or it could be in the middle, maybe. You can put that in the middle and then figure out where the heaviest is. You watched me like 200 days ago? 200 days? Yeah, it's been alright. Right now we're doing this, it's October, so it's drawing month. I just came back from a wedding trip, so friend's wedding trip. So now we're working on our prompts. Catching up on our prompts. Supposed to draw a thing every day. We'll get there. How have you been the last time we talked? Yeah, this is good. We'll normalize the body as we go. Maybe like a slight curve. Shoulder pad. Breastplate. Good. All right. Yeesh. Okay. Some adjustments. I'll take some adjustments soon, you know. So maybe like down to here. Okay. All right. I see a problem. Fine. I'll adjust the size in a bit. Okay. All right. Kind of want to slim out. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this part. I don't even think we need this part. However, um, I know what. Okay. All right. How much time? We have an hour. This is gonna be black and white, so not too bad. Gotta get our proportions correct, or else everything's gonna look weird. Okay. Okay. Uh, that's fine. And we just gotta make him taller. uh, stretch like this. Okay. I actually kind of like this, so we're gonna keep proportions. Hmm. I think we're gonna put the other guy in the front. Largely because I don't want to draw this part. I don't want to line this part up. Okay. Or I guess we could make them separate with a thing in the middle. Yeah. What do I do? Maybe some sort of circle. We'll put some sort of circle thing in the middle. That's probably what we're gonna go with. It's probably like gonna be a black circle. Or it could be a white circle. Or it could be red. I suppose. Be red. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna stick to this. Now the question is, how do I make this stylistically that I don't have to like do lots of things, right? So I gotta make this as in I can be a little loose. Uh, uh, uh. We'll just do a really strong proofs right now. And we'll worry about that in a bit. is where the line art comes in, right? Also, by the way, Walter, I'm not sure if you do this, but it's something that I don't do, and lots of people mention this a lot. Is that people turn their canvases all the time, and I don't do that. I don't know if that's a thing that you do, but there's a I think there's a very real reason to doing that, to alleviate like the risk thing. You feel like leaving? No, that's not that's not what I'm referring to. It's not a sketch. I'm not talking about sketching here. I'm talking about a canvas turning. Like turning your canvas around while you're drawing. Like you can rotate your canvas while some people do that to stick with a specific direction in their brush. I see. What I'm doing right now is it's kind of funny because this is my crutch, which is relying on strong lines. The thing I'm doing right now is probably my strongest suit, which is to take my sketch and attach my line work to it, which is to outline the thing as cleanly as I can, which is what I do fairly okay because of how often I do line work. Actually, I'm not sure how this is gonna go. I don't think I quite like this. Maybe like gotta be smaller, right? No, it's gotta come up. I think that's like this, but we round it out at the bottom. I'm gonna make it a little bit lower. I just noticed I do that as well, but my sketch is basically line work as well. Yeah, you're gonna have to start, you know, figuring out your other processes at some point. Feel out what works for you. My coloring strategy, or my fill-in strategy, tends to be it tends to complement this crutch that I have, which I typically refer to as my my outline crutch, because with it allows me to compensate for the need for like a super clean like inside. Like everything inside doesn't have to be super clean. Is where we're basically relying entirely on our to make things clean. Just gotta hit those lines on the outside. It's basically the trend in animation style and artwork at the moment too. If you look at your, I don't know, your Hoyoverse stuff and whatnot, it more or less they use this type of approach where you outline things in sharp like density, and then you anything in the inside is going to look substantially like cleaner because the outside is incredibly sharp in contrast. So you can do whatever you want in the inside as long as the outside is sharp enough. Yeah. Make the helmet a little bit larger. You need to get better at using layers as well, always for kid. But yeah, layers are, if you're gonna do digital artwork and you're not using layers, that's weird. However, with that said, there are like different, you know, definitely fun little interesting variances on how people use their layers. The way I use layers is kind of hard to describe, but I've experimented quite a bit on how I go about it. Yeah, it was good enough. Trying to figure out where the curve of the back is going to be. Yeah. That's fine. Add some pretty funny gimmicky layers. There was this one composition that I did that had like way too many layers. I was like, oh, what happens if I do all of this way. And at some point, I experimented enough to reach a critical mass where like, okay, I don't need a layer for this stuff. Or figure out like which stuff I really need layers for, and then which stuff I don't need layers for. It's a lot of fun messing with layers. Kind of like trying to figure out what what type of things that you want to like mess around with. Like, this stuff, yeah, we're gonna use layers. And this stuff, like, nah. There's so many things to experiment. The fill bucket in Clip Studio filling in the line art as well. Might drag it into Photoshop or try to color it then. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. Nah. Let's not. Okay. Alright, so we got the clean whatever, you know. A clean outline. Now the question is, can I fill this in? I haven't done a fill in so long. Nope. Okay, hold up. Let's try to use the magic wand. Yeah, that's about as hold up. Oh no, that's not. Oh no, it's doing the other thing. All right, I guess I'm just gonna have to manually do this. That's what I mean. If you have like a freehand thing, you need to vector it. Like, I could have vectored it. I could have vectored this. If I vectored it, it wouldn't have done that. However, I'm too lazy most of the time. Actually, I kind of wanna make this longer. Yeah, that's about exactly what I thought would happen. I'm like, I wonder if I can fill it in. Nope. It happens every time because my lines aren't like. You just need to vector something. You know, just vector it. I'm gonna make the crown a little bit edgier. Hmm. Yeah. It goes like here. So it goes. Whoop. Hmm. 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 Okay. All right. I guess I'm manually going to fill this in. It's not as hard as it looks. It's not really. You take your color, right? And you create a layer under. Huh. But I kind of wanted to make it completely black. Oh boy. Oh, you know. Okay, let's see how steady my hands are. I got this. Watch me mess this up completely. I should have vectored this. See, this is why you need a vector. You need to vector your things. The heckin' magic wand doesn't work because my lines are not connected. It's okay though. We have the power of our hands. Oh boy. I just noticed that. Oh. I just noticed that I had a little... There's a little clearing. What does vectoring mean? You use like so vectoring uses math. So you can make these lines into coordinates. And then when they're coordinate, when you're using coordinates, the computer knows like what is a connected line. So whenever you see like something very clean, right? Something very clean, typically it's some sort of vectoring, without saying too much. Like if you draw like an outline, like this is technically a vector. So a vector is like this, where you draw out a path and then you can adjust this path. So this is a freehand vector. However, like if you draw like a box, you can move the points on their own. So they'll plot all the points and then you can move the points and then shape it into... Oh, do I have an example? Hang on. There is vectoring in Krita, but I don't usually... Yeah. So it's up here. Basically, you create a path. And then what happens is you can do this, right? Now you can fill in. So I can fill this in. Right? So like that. The problem is it's filling past the point. Or is it? Oh no, it's not. So yeah. Oh, and like I can't fill outside of these. So I don't do this very often. Most of my stuff is freehand. So we'll just fill this in this way. I don't have to fill in this middle part. Yeah, so if you ever have to create like an emote or something like very crispy, you take your original sketch and you vector it. And then what happens is it gives you the flexibility of math. You can fix all your lines in post. Yeah. So, like for example, a vector means that every single point in your image has a point, has a coordinate. So what happens is the more detailed your vector is, you can move all the lines on their own. So you can literally take a line and shift it, and the whole image will stretch and shift with every single possible coordinate, as opposed to like what we're doing now, what I'm doing now, which is like sizing, and it's kind of like it's rasterizing, so it's like guessing and things are smearing and stuff. Vectors are a bit more precise. So when you have like really clean like cutouts like this, it's actually faster to do vector the blot. So I basically like did extra steps, which doesn't really need to. Why am I doing it this way? It's pretty much, it nets out the same way, so I don't mind it. And this is totally what I mean by layering. When you're doing like layering, how you use your layers is kind of a telltale sign of how experienced you are, and I am not that experienced. I start with something and I just go with it. It'll work itself out. I do need to make sure. I do have to make sure all of these are blanked out though. It's kind of the whole point of doing it this way. It's gotta look neat. Yeah. However, if your line drawing is like solid enough, it comes out to the same thing. If you prefer to line draw like I do, like freehand your line drawing, and I just fill in. There's a reason I'm filling it in this way, and it's on a different layer, is because I have to see what's underneath at some point. I'm not a crazy like image person, and I could tell where my folds are. The line art that I did for all the different layers are going to be important. Although I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the Ronin guy, because I didn't draw a lot of lines on the Ronin guy, so I have to make it up as I go. This guy had like cloth that it would be very hard for me to imagine how nice it looks or how it's going to look without drawing it. So now I can do this. And that's the magic of layers for digital art. So I don't have to like picture it myself. I can draw the picture and then I can make it opaque temporarily. And I can figure out where my whites are going to be, because I'm going to put in white in this. And all the lines I've drawn is where I'm going to place white to give dimension. And so on. Like I put in extra lines because I need to figure out where it's going to be white. Parts are going to catch the light so I can give it form. Like, it looks nice now. Like, I don't need... You can fill it in with your own imagination what that character looks like. However, I'm gonna add a little bit. The best example of like vector work that should have been vectored. I've done this before. I should have vectored it, but I didn't. I ended up hand drawing most of it except for like the really, really straight lines. Here's a good example. Where is it? This one. This is a good example of something that would come out as a vector work. But I didn't. I actually drew all that, and then I hand lined all of it, and then I cleaned it up. So all this stuff, if you're a good vectorer, if you know how to vector stuff, then it would be like a walk in the park. Actually, do I have my original file with all the stuff? I do. Let me show you what it looks like. Yeah, I still have all the stuff. Well, not all the stuff, but some of the stuff. Like, here's that line that I drew, right, to separate the two. Here's the original sketch that I was working on. All right, see, I have this recorded, so stretched out, and then there's like this thing, the leaf thing. I had to like hand wiggle my way through all of this, and then eventually when you add it all together with a black background, you don't see any of that, right? That's what happens when you layer. And then I added the eyeball thing. So the layering and the context, like the layering, like it looks messy at first, but when you have enough layers and how to like mask all your noise and stuff, it looks like clean, but it's really messy. It's really messy at first. And this is the same way. I do the same thing. You don't really have to go through all of this though. People are very good at using like automated tools to figure out where like the lines are and all that. I didn't invest too much time into any of that yet. Maybe in the future. Not today. Today is not the day. For the next couple days. Oh, dang it. So I'm using this like path tool, this freehand path tool, for the time being to get the trouble spots. And then I color in the rest. But this part is a trouble spot because I don't like having to worry about coloring out the lines. Most of the time I color out the lines. It doesn't matter if it colors out the lines or not. If I'm doing black and white though, I make sure I don't color out the lines. Because black and white is ridiculous. I'm not like using a texture thing. I'm not using a texture brush or anything like that. So it's not allowed to be messy. This part's not allowed to be messy. So I'm not going to let it be messy. Need steady hands for that. Yeah, definitely need steady hands for that. Vectoring, you don't need to be steady. Maybe I'll show, yeah, vectoring, you don't need to be steady. You can always do it afterwards. You can change all these lines, basically. Like, you see how like wobbly all these lines are? You can literally click on the line and you can shift it. Because every part has a point to it. It has like a mathematical point to it. So you can change it afterwards. The path tool that I'm using is not that. It's like rasterized, so it's kind of a loose approximation of my wiggly hands. There are freehand pathing tools that are pretty sweet. Now, I used them like once. I think I used one once. I should really invest some time into. That was awful. I don't want to talk about it. My hand needs to reset. Unfortunately, I can't reset right now. The other crutch is to use super thick lines. Then you can like have so much wiggle room. My lines are kind of thick. It's kind of thick. Super thick lines. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I clearly missed some edging. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to learn all, like, you know. I don't want to. It's a great exploration. You don't have to learn all the tools. Use the tools that you like. I like certain tools. I use other tools like incredibly rarely. And I think most of the time, I decide which like 2 tools I'm going to use for composition, and that's about it. Technically, I use like 12 tools maybe, and then another 10 that's sparingly. However, I don't ever, like a singular piece, don't ever use those 12 tools. I think every piece use about 3 tools. Your primary line. So I have a line tool, right? and a coloring tool. And then the rest is sizing and stuff. So there's these base tools that you'll probably have in Clip Studio, like your box, right? Your selection tool, like how much you're selecting. And all those are, no matter what comp, you have to do that in digital art. In terms of brushes, though, a line brush, an eraser, and a coloring brush. That's all I have. And I have multiples of them, depending on what style I want. So this is an ink style, so I'm going only using the basic fill blob tool and my G pen for my lines. And that's it. So yeah, so now we have the silhouette of our characters, right? And then we're gonna keep this simple. It's gonna be very simple because we wanted simple and clean, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Oops. Maybe we'll stick to this. Or we can do this. Maybe. Let's find out. And then this is where your hand comes into play. If you're using a brush like this is where you need some good hands, which I take for granted most of the time now. By that, what I mean take for granted is this is where your intuition comes in from all your all your experience. This is where I feel the difference between someone who studies a lot of art versus someone who does a lot of art. Obviously, you can do both. I study very little art, so my bad. Yeah, I'm relying on my hand because this brush goes from this is softest and it goes gigantic, so it's huge, and I have to make sure I get the right amount, at least the right amount for myself. Actually, how does this look? Too thick. No. Smaller. Actually, I might stick with the ink. Let's reduce this to 10. maybe? Yeah, let's just make it simple. We just outline the whole thing again with some extra lines here and there. I was gonna say, let's do some like super interesting thing, but let's not. It's okay. Trying to fill this out a little. Eh. Time for EU frog. Oh, yeah. Good night, Walter. Good luck. Good luck. Hope you rest well. Yeah. Yeah. You'll see it in the Discord. Know where to find it. Good night. Good night. Ugh. Can't draw straight lines. Let's see how this looks. It's okay. I think we're gonna do that and put in some red reflections on the thing. So I think the other dude's gonna have a problem because I did not draw any lines for that dude. Oh, you know, yeah, I was gonna put in like ink, like a ink work related thing. It's gonna take too long. I think this is fine. Maybe like try to feel where the yes, and maybe like no, that's fine. Hmm. Uh, yeah, that's good enough. I have one more little slight touch, but let's work on trying to figure out what are we gonna do with you. Okay, what are we going to do with you? Yeah, keep it simple, right? Keep it simple. Yeah, keep it simple. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Less is more. Less is more. Okay. Let's see how that looks. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey. Um... Hey. um... Okay. Alright. Now we're gonna add our last thing. Oh, actually, not our last thing, but still relatively important. I need some Atmo. We need to add some Atmo here. We're gonna cheat out on this. Yeah, I think we're gonna cheat out on. There are many ways to make this composition incredibly effective, right? And I think we are going to do a classic. A classic one. And what more classic than putting a very large sphere in the middle? How are we gonna do this though? uh, as red as can be? Sure. Wait. Wait, what the heck happened? Oh. Hmm. Okay. Is it too big? Nah. Right? Nah. Old. No, I think it needs to be black first. Okay. Oh, we're a little bit over time. There's a little bit over time, but it's okay. Ah, yeah. Wait. Yeah, fine. Um, I got more. We got more. Oh no. Wait. I got. Hold up. Ah, no. Hold up. Can I move this, please? Okay. Uh, Dang it. Okay, hold up. Son of a. I'll just erase it afterwards. Fine. Hmm. So. Just fill it out. Okay. Nah. Do I? And then one last thing. All right. Um, there's one other thing. Oh, right. How do I do that? Hmm. Uh, I need like a. Hmm. Uh, I need like a splotch. Maybe this? No. 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 Hmm. I need like a bam. Uh. No. Oh, you know. Not quite. No, 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 no. I thought I saw this before. Oh, maybe it's this one. No. Hmm. We need like a leaky something. Oh, this might be it. Ah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, 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 yes. This is what we're looking for. um, hmm, um, yeah, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go back to that. Hmm. Hmm. Nah. I was gonna do like a foreground thing, but that's fine. So instead, maybe we'll do yeah, good enough. I think we're good. Actually, maybe. Okay, it's a pretty decent balance. Yeah. I think that's good. Good enough for the comp. Still got more to do. Okay. Good enough. Let's see. Oh, right. What was this called? Nomadic? Oh no. Oh no. I don't. Oops. Wait. What the heck just happened? Okay. So this is kind of a problem because I don't know what vocabulary we're going to use for nomadic. I'm even curious if this shows up. Nomadic, wandering people. Nomadic tribe. I feel like we're probably gonna write the word for wanderer or something, as opposed to trying to figure out a direct translation of nomadic. That's nah, I can't even comprehend what that is. Oh, I can kind of see that. Oh, I need to figure out. There's no way is Yubol Kumin. No, Yubol Kumin. No. Really? Or I could do Tabinin? Tabinin sounds like a person. That sounds nomad like. Tabinim. Oh, I see. Oh, that's the okay, so that's the that's the kanji for wandering around. The different I can get behind this. Nomadic. I can get behind Tabinin. The problem is nomadic, but I think we're gonna stretch it a little. Yeah, it's or of nomad, maybe of a nomadic quality. You can put like it does look like that's what they're using. All right, we'll go with that. So you baku mean you baku mean you boku you boku mean you boku mean I need like you boku you boku mean you boku mean. I'm gonna give me a pronunciation of it. Okay. What does this sound like?
遊牧民
Yeah, you boku mean. All right, we'll go with that. And then, ooh, what about the Chinese one? Hmm. Oh, it's almost exactly the same. Actually, I think we're just gonna go with you boku. Because you boku means like nomad quality. And they're actually identical. I see. So the other one could be like you boku no. You boku no. Because in Chinese it's yo mu de, as in like no.
游牧的
Yeah, yo mu de. Interesting. Yeah, I think we're gonna stick with one this time. They're both identical. Yes. Um. Hmm. Write it down the middle. Yomu de. Yomu and yoboku. Yoboku and yomu. Okay. I think we're gonna put it straight down the middle, just to make it. Uh. First day back, not too bad. Feeling pretty good. It's interesting that they use that character. So like to move around in Boku. Okay. Uh, oh, that's off-centered. That's okay. We'll fix it. Ah! Wait. Why is it doing that? What the heck is going on? Oh, I think it's the selection tool is creating that. That's fine. Right. Yeah. That's not it. Okay. Same character. Same characters. Okay. All right, where are we gonna? What's the what's today's date? We gotta remember the dates are different now. 10/14. Okay. Hey. Not bad, not bad. Turned out pretty good. Pretty fine. All right. Nothing like cutting your line work in half. Okay. So there you have it. We're still playing catch up, of course. Still playing catch up, but that's the end of our day 10 prompt. Oh, wait. I noticed. Why? Okay. There we go. Yep. Our day 10 prompt. Let's save this. And we're gonna double up tomorrow. I'm feeling pretty good about my workflow, so I can keep it to 2 hours. Today we spent a little bit, like 30 minutes, talking about artwork, wrists, you know, protecting the wrist, demonstrating some stuff. What was this? Nomadic. Okay. So what? We have 4 extra prompts to do, right? 4 extra prompts. Yes, we have 4 extra prompts. Tomorrow's prompt, I'm gonna be conservative. I already have tomorrow's prompt planned, actually. I was thinking of doing both of them, but we gotta switch gears, and it's a little different today. Tomorrow's prompt is gonna be fairly quick. Maybe we can squeeze in 5 things. Ooh, we'll see. Okay, there you have it. Day 10's prompt. We'll catch up before the end of Inktober. This has happened before. No worries. All right. So we're gonna switch gears now. Thanks for hanging out. If you're gonna watch this later, thank you, thank you. Definitely feel free, come along, join along with me in Inktober. You don't have to do every day, you know. It's about encouraging people to kind of flex and use up, use a bit of their creative juices. There's a lot that can be gained from activating the neurons, right, in different ways. All right. Thank you.